All right, next up, we have our principal from East Elementary, Mr. Andy Smeltzer.
Thank you very much, President Iman and Vice President Ricketts, board members and directors, and the tough and hardy group that came out in the cold for giving us a chance to, and the privilege to talk about East Elementary and why East Elementary is the place to be a family. So it's rather fitting that we have our 3 kindergarten teachers back here in the back. I appreciate them showing up, and Mrs. Smith, Mrs. Walker, and Mrs. Schwartz, because you're going to see some of their fine students in our presentation this evening, because we had to add a little bit of humor to it. So we'll get started. We are the place to be for student success. Here's our overall grade of a B with last year's OAA scores. If you look at the yellow across the bottom, those are the increases, except for 3rd grade math. We kind of took a hit, but all of those scores improved, and especially the last column in 5th grade math reached the goal, which we celebrated very much as we started this school year, up 17.4%. But what I like also is across the bottom, the percentage of our student body that's either accelerated or advanced. You can see those percentages, so not just reaching that mark, but as Dr. Svoboda said, exceeding that mark. And it's great to follow Dr. Svoboda because we had the opportunity to spend some time together, and our staffs collaborated together during our late starts this year. Our AMO reports, we received a grade A. Reading, math were both 100 as far as our score. If you include our IEP scores in there, we still earned a C. We have a large amount of thanks goes out to our educational assistants and our intervention specialists that help not only to provide the RTI necessary, but also the enrichment for those scores. All right, so let's hear from some of these experts of why. We took a little of the AT&T approach here. So which is better, AMO or value added? Let's see what our experts have to say.
What's better, AMO or value added? Yes.
Value added.
Why?
I don't know. That's what I just said. AMU. Get it? H.
That's how our teachers feel sometimes with all of the things going on. Sometimes it does feel like a move. And that was Miss Reagan Graves, one of our bubbly kindergarten classmates. We are the place to be for communication also. I am late to Facebook, and so we did launch that as we started this new year, up to over 120 likes now. The good thing is posts are being seen by 300 people that are being shared. It's a great form of celebrating success, as well also informing the public, because it's amazing. You can't call the parents sometimes, but you send something out on Facebook and you have immediate response. So just the nature of our society nowadays. The last thing, aside from other parental communication and things we've been doing, the Citizen of the Week have proved to be a big hit. Not only do I get to make 2 positive calls each week to talk to parents about the success of their student, but also that's posted on LSN and on our Facebook site with parental permission to go along with that. So let's see what our experts have to say. Which is better, to talk to parents or not talk to parents?
What's better, to talk to parents or not talk to parents?
Talk to parents.
Why?
Because they'll answer you.
And that was Miss Rebecca Woody, and we have found we mentioned the first slide of the success of the scores last year and really opening up those lines of communication with our parents and the community members has proven to be a great task as we've gone through. But East is a great place because we have so many people walking back and forth that we get to do that at the start and at the end of every school day. We are the place to be for extended learning. We have 20 students reading before school. We have 40 students in the extended day reading program or the literacy program after school. And thanks to the East Learning Center, we have 29 students that spend sometimes upward till 6 p.m. and actually eat dinner at our facility. So we're knowing more and more providing those opportunities for students to be there longer. Other ways of extension, we have a shameless plug, thanks to Carrie Rodenbaugh and Carrie Sheets, our leaders of our art show. It's coming up Friday, March 7th. If you haven't been there, I would encourage you to attend. We've had over $1,000 of community money donated to support the effort. Thankfully, this gives our students some things to do during inside recess time and other art times. And it was a huge success, but from 6 to 8:30 on Friday, March 7th, where we'll all be in our best and students will be able to show off the work they've created. All right, more experts. Which is better, more school or less school? Surprising response here.
What's better, more school or less school? Yes.
Yeah, more school, because I love school more than anything.
Why?
Well, because I love learning. And if you love learning, you basically want to keep going to school.
Why?
Everybody loves learning. I bet you loved learning.
I do love learning, or I wouldn't come here.
Oh, you would started the school.
True.
Many times I had to put my head down too because I'd never laughed so hard in my life that afternoon. That was Mr. Hunter Stewart, one of our exciting kindergartners, and unfortunately for Mrs. Swartz back in the back, she has most of those exciting kindergartners in her class, so you can pray for her at times. All right, the last part, we are the place to be a family. I've walked into an amazing atmosphere, an amazing staff, an amazing group of students, amazing parents. Some of our events we've had, Mrs. Walker had a family day at East where most of her students had a parent or a grandparent show up, and they walked through some of the centers and doing some of the things that they were going to be working on in their kindergarten class. Was a huge success. We also had Mrs. Schisler, our fourth grade teacher, an amazing celebration of an American, and with Mr. Schisler here, received our cover, A Veteran with Love quilt. Very impassioned speech, very humble man. This was even very important for me because my father, who served in Vietnam, also got to be in attendance for this great event. So their class did an amazing job where they had speaking parts throughout the entire presentation. Finally, we had over 700 food items donated during the holidays. We helped 25 of our families. About 93, I think, of our students were touched by the help that we provided. A big thanks to our PTO and to Carnival Foods, who you should have saw my van the day before Christmas and the deliveries as I got to play Santa. It was an absolute humbling and amazing experience, but very neat thing that we've been able to do throughout all of those things. And finally, so which is better, East or somewhere else? This is our last expert. You may notice a few of these people. So if you can enlarge this one.
Which one's better, East or somewhere else? 17! Yes? East! Why?
Z! It's on my shirt.
Okay.
Can I go to the bathroom?
No. Yes?
East!
Why?
Because East is the place to be a family.
East is the place to be. It's not complicated.
Now, Malachi McCann, one of our third graders. We have just a list of the extras that were in here to kind of end, but we had a lot of fun putting this together, and it's pretty easy to talk about why East is the place to be. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Smeltzer, and thank you for sharing all the great things from East Elementary, and it certainly looks like your transition from the high school to the elementary ranks is a successful one, and look forward to great things in the future from East Elementary as well.